Hello dear students, now today we would move ahead in this fourth chapter of class 7th science, that is heat. So today we are going to discuss the transfer of heat, the modes of transfer of heat. Okay, so if you see, the heat can be transferred in three ways. So there are three modes for the transfer of heat. Okay, so in three ways the heat can be transferred. The heat can be transferred in three ways. What are those three ways? First one we have already discussed, that is conduction. Conduction you might be knowing. We have already discussed it. Let's say you light a flame here and you have an iron rod, and put this one end of the iron rod over this flame and hold it from here. Now what would happen? First, the end of the iron rod which you have put over the flame would become hotter. Then after some time you would find that this one end of the iron rod also has become hotter. It means the heat has been transferred from hotter region to the colder region. So this process of transfer of heat is known as conduction. So in conduction, the heat is being transferred from hotter to colder, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so this is known as conduction, and the heat is being transferred by the process of conduction in case of solids. So in solids, the transfer of heat would take place by the process of conduction. In solids only, that you have to remember. Okay, so in solids the heat is transferred by the process of conduction in solids. Okay, now what about the liquid? How the heat would transfer in case of the liquid? Now in case of the liquid, if you see, the heat is transferred by another process. It is not being transferred by the conduction process, rather it is being transferred by the process of convection. What it is? Convection, isn't it? Yes. So convection means, let's say you have a pot. You have a pot here. You have a pot here, and just you fill it with water and put it over the flame. This is the flame, fire. Okay, now what would happen when you just put it over the fire? So first what would happen? This one water, the water which is in contact with this one source of heat, so first this one water would become hotter, would become hot, isn't it? If you just put your hand on this one water, you would feel some colder air, but if you put it down, you would feel somewhat hotter there. Okay, so what happens? First, the water which is in contact with the flame, that becomes hotter, isn't it? Now when this water gets heated, it goes up. Now this water goes up, this heated water or this hot water goes up. Now the place is vacant now because this water has gone up. Now what would happen? The cold water which is upside, that would come downside by sides. By sides, the cold water again would come here. The hot water would go up and the cold water from the sides would come here. Then again it would come towards the source of heat, and again it is getting heated there. When this water is also getting heated, this water would also go up. And then again the cold water which is again still remaining there, that water would again come here from the sides and would become a hotter air and would again goes up. So by this process, slowly, whole water becomes hot, isn't it? So this process of transfer of heat is known as convection, and we find this process of transfer of heat in case of liquids, isn't it? So in liquids we find this process of transfer of heat. So in liquid, the heat is being transferred by the process of convection, and in case of solids, it is being transferred by the process of conduction, isn't it? Okay, let me write about the convection here. Okay, then after we would discuss about the third process of transferring of heat. Okay, third mode. So this is convection. Okay, so in liquids, the heat is transferred by the process of convection, in which the water in contact with the fire gets heated and goes up, and the cold water from the sides goes down towards the source of heat, and this process goes on, means it would continue till the complete water become hot. Okay. Now you have the third process also there, third mode of transfer of heat. Okay, and that is the radiation. Okay, so these are the three modes of transfer of heat. So what is radiation? Radiation means like the heat from the sun comes to us, isn't it? So the heat from sun comes to us by the process of conduction? No. By the process of convection? By the process of convection? No. Convection, let me write it correctly, convection. So does the heat from the sun comes to us by the process of convection? No. The heat from the sun comes to us by the process of radiation. Okay. So the radiation process does not require any medium. Like for the conduction, it require a medium. That medium should be solid one. For the convection, it require a medium. That should be the liquid one medium. But for radiation, no requirement of the medium is there. Whether the medium is there or not, the heat from the sun would approach to you, would reach to you, isn't it? Yes. So the heat from the sun comes to us by the process of radiation, isn't it? Yes. What happens? Suppose you have a hot object, any hot object to take, like sun. Sun is also a hot ball. Okay. So any hot object, if you are taking, it emits heat. Any hot object if you take, so the hot objects emit heat. Okay. And the object which are near to this one hot object would absorb some amount of this heat, because this is the hot object. It is going to emit the heat, and some amount of the heat would be absorbed by this one object. So this one object also become hotter. Okay. Like the sun is emitting the heat, and some amount of heat we are absorbing. We are not absorbing all heat that is being which is coming from the sun. Rather, some amount of heat we are absorbing and we become hotter. Like the water, some amount of heat is absorbed by the water also and become hot, isn't it? Yes. So this process of transfer of heat is known as radiation. Okay. The heat from the sun comes to us by the process of radiation. The radiation process, the radiation process does not require any medium. All the hot objects like sun emit heat, out of which some heat is absorbed by another object and become hot. So write it down all. That is all for today, and would be discussing some other topics of this chapter in the upcoming lectures. Till then, stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you. Have a good day.